You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Rising Star After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Rising Star After Show.
You are listening to the AFTERBUZZ show for Rising Star on ABC. This is the second week of Rising Star, the brand new singing competition show. I don't know if you recognize this song, but a little girl group called Trinity covered it tonight, and I will get into all that and more. But first, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kylie Hodges. I'm your host tonight, and I'm all alone at this table. My co-hosts are gone, but guess where they are? They are backstage at the red carpet for Rising Star. So tune in tomorrow on AfterBuzz's YouTube channel, and you can check out all of Jason and Heather's interviews from the red carpet. So a lot of good stuff there. Joining me in the booth is my engineer, Phil. Hi, Phil.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for working hard back there. Now, this week on Rising Star was, in my opinion, much better than last week. I think it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of great contestants. There were 12 contestants. 5 got voted off as no, and 7 went through as yes. And some of those no's, I was looking on Twitter, some people were kind of upset that they were not, the wall wasn't risen for them. The wall wasn't raised. There you go. But since the West Coast is watching right now, they could be passed through with the West Coast. So why don't we recap some of the contestants from tonight, and then by next week we'll know if they made it through from the West Coast. So our first contestant was Shemaya Crawford, and she was cute. She had like the preacher's daughter background singer vibe, and she got voted off as no, which blew me away. She sang Tonight by Fun. And I thought she did great. I think she had a great look, and I think she has a lot of potential. She only had 69% though, which, I mean, West Coast, that's up to you guys. She's literally 1% away from getting through, so maybe we'll see her, maybe we won't. I know that the judges were pretty into her, so I think maybe she might have some leeway in making it through to the next round. Next up, we had my personal favorite. Her name is April Lockhart. She's super perky, very cute girl, and she sang Spice Girls, which, first of all, anybody who sings Spice Girls has a special place in my heart, because that's my jam. I feel like Spice Girls to me is like what One Direction is to people now. Like, I will go crazy forever about Spice Girls. So she sang Say You'll Be There, and she was super cool. You know, she had what she called the birdie on her arm, so she played the guitar with, like, I don't even know what it was. It just was like this multicolored thing on her arm that was like a pick. And honestly, I think that she owned it. You know, I don't dislike when people use sob stories, but I think she showed everybody that this is my disability and I'm owning it, and I'm gonna make my performance even better out of it. And I think she did a great job. She's super spunky, and honestly, I think what proved that she's a great performer is that I noticed that I wasn't paying attention to the fact that she had like the birdie on her arm and that she wasn't like the same as you or I, but the fact that she was doing a really great job performing. And at that point, by the end of her performance, I had forgotten that she was playing the guitar with that. So I thought she was pretty great. And she passed through. She got 81%. So I'm excited to see her in the future. And I feel like she's going to be a fan favorite too. Next up, we have Austin French. Now, if I wasn't a spoken for lady, I would be all about this boy. He was so cute. He's, you know, the pastor. He's kind of like a nice Southern boy. His fiance is like this adorable girl. They both look like they're 16, but I think they're older than that. And he passed through with flying colors. He got 87%. And he sang Georgia by Ray Charles. And I loved his rendition of it. I think after the show, I'm going to go to iTunes and download it ASAP because he did a great job. He had a lot of energy too, and I don't know. I love his smile. I'm all about it. Now the next group, Trinity. It was that girl trio, and as you heard our intro music, they sang Ariana Grande's "One Less Problem." I liked their effort. I think they meant well, and I think it's super cool that they teach aspiring children, so of course I'm going to want them to win. But I don't know, there was a lot of rapping in tonight's show, and it wasn't necessarily my favorite thing, especially because this is a singing competition and not a rapping competition. But before I go into my opinion with Trinity, our co-hosts Heather and Jason are actually backstage at Rising Star right now, and we've got them on the phone. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are things backstage at Rising Star?
Amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. All the contestants were very, very sweet, which is always nice because you never know when you meet people on TV how they're going to turn out.
So,
I also had a moment with Kesha.
I had a moment with Ludacris. He got really up close and personal.
He did.
He did.
Ludacris was feeling Heather.
Yeah.
He was what to Heather?
He was feeling me, like literally, not figuratively.
Well, she does have that booty, though, and Ludacris was all up on that. Kesha, if you look on my Twitter, Kesha gave me a lap dance before, so we talked about that, and then we played with each other's hair. It was a beautiful moment.
That's fantastic. Good for you guys. Heather, are you? Did you and Luda exchange digits? Is this turning into a thing now?
No, but literally, like, the second he walked up to me, he put his arm around me and did not let go the entire interview. So it was a little bit, like, in my bubble, but I managed to get the interview done.
It's really hard to have Ludacris in your bubble.
Yeah, I mean, like, literally, like, he was so close to my face, I was like, oh, good thing I just popped him in.
Also, I think April, out of the contestants, April was our favorite tonight.
Yeah.
She was the sweetest backstage, too.
She was awesome. We loved her. She's so fun and bubbly.
I literally just... Yeah, I was just saying that April and Austin French were some of my faves tonight. And April seems like she has a fantastic personality. So it's good to hear that she's cool in real life, too.
Austin was so fun on the red carpet, too. Like, he literally was, like, going 100 miles per hour. Like, so much energy.
And we also got an interview with Lil Anthony, the young man who taught us how to twerk. So
oh, that's amazing.
That will be up on AfterBuzzTV.com tomorrow as well.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch them. It sounds like you guys are having a blast.
Yeah, so fun.
Have a good show. Thanks everybody for listening. Heather and I will be back next week.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much for calling in. We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Wow, well, I'm pretty jealous. It sounds like the red carpet at Rising Star is a place to be. I don't know about you all, but I would not be upset about Luda being in my personal space. And also, I don't know if you all knew this, but Jason really did get he got a lap dance from Kesha. So if you don't believe him, tweet at him on Twitter. I'm sure he would love to talk about that experience. But I've seen pictures. There's proof. It's the real deal. She gave him a lap dance. Okay, moving on. Trinity, this girl trio. You know, like I was saying, the rapping, it didn't do it for me. Trinity and then another contestant, I believe it was Egypt. She rapped as well, and I was just not digging the rapping. I think when you're at a singing competition, I understand that you want to stand out and you want to have a unique performance, but I think maybe you should focus more on song choice than rapping because, I mean, you know, people care more about your voice than whether you can rap. That's my personal opinion. I did kind of think that Trinity reminded me a little bit of TLC, and I'm all about a TLC throwback, but I think maybe it was just a little too girl groupy, and I think they need to kind of get a little tighter, kind of like what the judges were saying. They just need to step up their game a little bit. But even though they only got 30%, Kesha was saying that they were a diamond in the rough, and I do agree. She was right about how she said choreography is just something you can fix. And they did have potential, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards for them. So they didn't pass through. However, the next contestant, Alice Lee, she was from Chicago. her story was that she was on Broadway, or on an off-Broadway show, and she was very much into musical theater, and she actually quit her show to do this, to do Rising Star. So lucky for her, she made it through, otherwise that would have sucked. She passed through with 73%, and I don't know if you all were really paying attention, but her mom was in the crowd, and she was probably one of the cutest people in that audience. She was like bouncing up and down and clapping, but she wasn't really clapping to the beat. It's kind of like she was just so excited to see her daughter on stage. She wasn't really listening, but it was very adorable. I think I can see Alice going far. She seems like she's got a good personality, and her song, she sang You and I by Lady Gaga. It wasn't my favorite, but I think she definitely is trainable. And with that musical theater background, she probably is going to have a leg up on some of the other musicians who don't have as much formal training. So I'm anxious to see her story and where that goes. Next up, we have Rye Davis. His story was really inspirational. He's a kettle farmer, and he was trying to get into the major leagues for baseball, and he actually had an incident where he's a pitcher, and a pitch was thrown at his eye, which they showed the pictures, and his eye was like swollen all the way out to here, and that kind of, I have a sensitive stomach. So I had to look away. But he looks great now. He's a handsome guy, so good for him. And his voice, I really liked him. I was a little bummed he didn't make it through. I mean, I don't think he gave the best performance, but there's something about like a really deep voice country singer boy that I'm pretty sure I'm not the only girl who has a soft spot for that. I know that Kesha said, I want to cuddle you. And I'm sure there was plenty of other girls saying the same thing. So unfortunately, he didn't make it through, but I feel like he'll be a YouTube sensation. I could see him going further there. Next up, we have Sonnet Simmons. Her story was super interesting too, and she passed. So I'm curious to see more about her. She passed with 81%, and she was the girl who said that she was born in Greece, but she was actually raised in a cult. So crazy stuff. And Kesha was actually talking with her feedback about how she said, I want to start a cult with cats. And I thought that was hysterical, but I'm kind of wondering if maybe the cult thing was a super touchy subject for Sonnet. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Regardless, we're going to see more of her. I think she did a great job. She sang Wicked Game. And although her performance was definitely pitchy at points, I love that song. And I think she did a really cool... She made a cool rendition of it. So I thought that was unique, and I think she'll be a unique person to keep your eye on throughout the season. Next, we have Deidre Irvin. Her story, God, everybody has such a sad story. What is up with this show? Everybody's story is like heartbreaking. Like you just want to give them a hug and like, you know, let them play with like a puppy and give them like $10,000 because everybody's had a tragedy. Poor Deidre. Her house burned down like a week ago, and somehow her family was there, and she didn't pass. She only got 18%. But Josh Groban said he was going to do anything he could to help her out, so that's pretty cool. I'm curious to see what that means. Hopefully he helps her get a new house. I mean, I don't know what else he could do. But she sang Ellie Goulding's Anything Could Happen. It was a little karaoke-ish, in my opinion. Definitely wasn't the best, but I mean, it's really hard to criticize somebody who just told you that their house burned down. Honestly, that's like the saddest thing ever. Poor Deidre. If you're watching, I'm thinking of you. Next up, we got Will Roth. According to the Twitterverse, all the ladies love his hair and beard. I'm not so much into a dude with long hair, but I could see how girls are into the rocker guys with long hair. He had a really interesting look, and I loved his performance of Sweater Weather. I would say he would be like my runner-up for favorite performance tonight. Yeah, he passed with flying colors. He got an 83%. As we all know, Kesha loves beards, and she even told him that she loved his beard. I'm excited to see more from him. It's nice to see like a rocker, like a kind of a grungier dude come out onto these shows, because these shows tend to be very poppy, and this is going to be a nice turn for these contestants. Also, right after Will's performance, after the commercial break, Brad Paisley was talking about how he wanted to start a drinking game. Whenever Josh Groban says app, take a drink. So if any of you try that drinking game, comment. Please let me know how it goes. I hope nobody passes out. Be safe. But that sounds like a really fun game, and if I could be playing it, I probably would. And I'm sure Jason and Heather and Morgan would all be down too. I'll ask them next week. Next up, we had Egypt Dixon. She didn't make it through. I really liked her look, though, but I completely agree with Kesha. She sang Fancy by Iggy Azalea, and, you know, it wasn't right for her. Again, she did the rapping, and it just... Don't rap, guys. It's a singing competition. You don't need to rap. Maybe try that after you've gotten through. But I think with these shows, you really need to focus on getting people to see the best in your voice. And when you're rapping, you're not singing. So how are they going to know what you're capable of? So unfortunately, she didn't get through. She got 44%. And then the last two contestants, we had Adam James. He had a really sad story, too. God, everybody's such a sad story. You can't handle it. His dad just passed away, and so he sang I Won't Give Up by Jason Mraz. And he was interesting. He was right on the edge, and Kesha's vote pushed him through. He passed at 84%. I loved him. He's super handsome, easy on the eyes, but he seems like he has a great personality, and I'm just a sucker for Jason Mraz or anything close to him. And then the last contestant, Megan Tibbetts. You know, she was pretty cool. I'm a little disappointed she didn't make it through. She only got a 68%, which means maybe the West Coast will push her through. I mean, that's so close to that 70%. Anything could happen, which could be happening right now. But I really liked her. I think she brought a lot of energy, and she seemed like she had a lot of potential, and she could really learn and grow from the judges on this show. I love that she did John Legend's All of Me on the harp. I don't think it was the best rendition of the song, but it was so unique, and I really applaud musicians that try to do something that's different and hasn't been done before. And honestly, like, what famous harp player, who's a famous harp player? I can't think of any, can you? Because I don't think there are many. So I think it'd be really cool to see somebody that makes it big that plays harp. Fingers crossed, I hope West Coast pushes her through. It was a great week. I think that these contestants were the ones that made it through. I think they're going to be really cool to watch, and hopefully next week we'll get even more awesome contestants. In the meantime, I guess the only prediction I can make for next week is that Luda's going to be super tough on everybody because he was probably the toughest judge this week. Kesha's going to find another bearded guy that she loves, and Josh Groban is going to say something awkward to Brad Paisley like he did tonight. I thought it was a great show. If you guys like this show or like our AfterBuzz show, please rate 5 stars, comment, subscribe on YouTube and iTunes, and tell us what you think. Also, I don't know if you've heard of a lady named Maria Menounos, but she is the head honcho here at AfterBuzz TV, and she's a fantastic lady, and she has just written a book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness. If you haven't read it, go out there, buy it. It's fantastic. There's all these cool pictures, recipes. I mean, if you've seen Maria's body, you know that she's doing something right. So get this book, figure out her secrets, and tune in next week and keep supporting AfterBuzz and rate us 5 stars on iTunes. I'm your host, Kylie Hodges. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheKylieHodges. And thank you so much, Phil. Fantastic engineering.
No problem.
See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.